think one of the beauty about UN is that it's not about today or it's not only about yesterday. It's a collective agreement and a collective vision towards our tomorrow. So when we talk about our tomorrow, I think we cannot ignore the potential, the energy that we have today, and the energy and the potential that we have today are young persons, and in particular in Africa. And having more than 1 billion persons with disabilities, and the majority of them coming from developing countries, including sub-Saharan Africa, it's critically important that we get the views and voices of young persons with disabilities also in order to really achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, as well as also to practically live the Leave No One Behind principle of the Agenda 2030.
There is a lot of room for growth with disability inclusion and the humanitarian sector in Ethiopia. For example, we currently do not collect needs assessments on disability. Secondly, we do not collect disability disaggregated data, which means we do not know the barriers they face and how many people and where and what they need, which is a critical starting point for inclusive humanitarian action.
As a volunteer institution working for 10 years as a volunteer in the country, I have never been attached with the UN agencies and UN organizations in Ethiopia here. And I didn't see, I was the international communication officer for the Ethiopian Federation and for the Addis Ababa also. They have strived to work with us closely, but they didn't achieve anything here. So I insist and ask the UN agencies should have worked with the Ethiopian youth very well, as they are working with others in the worldwide, in Africa also.
I would suggest that UN, United Nations at different levels, including country offices, can engage first through mapping where these young persons with disabilities are, knowing where they are and what their needs are. Second, through engaging them in meaningful consultation, ensuring that their views and voices matter in policies and other operations that the UN supports, both in the development as well as in the humanitarian context. Last but not least, ensuring that there is a clear connection between our policy aspirations and budgetary allocations when it comes to disability, ensuring that whatever we talk about is also financed or costed for.
The recommendations I have for disability inclusion within the humanitarian community in Ethiopia are three. One is we need to allocate budgets to be able to serve people with disabilities and provide reasonable accommodation and service delivery. Two is collect disability disaggregated data so we know how many people with disabilities there are and where and what they need. And three, fundamentally, we need to engage with organizations of people with disabilities to be their own agents and to help us identify solutions that are cost-effective and efficient.
Creating sustainable projects that are implemented in the localities. If we have different local projects that are implemented with the UN, with the partners, we can engage better youth, and also we can have information dissemination by creating localized, local language-based information dissemination programs. We can say, this is SDG, this is what you can do, this is how you can engage with the UN, with the partners. You can do this.
I am very proud of the UN compound. I remember I messaged the executive director of the ECA back in 2018 when I first came to do humanitarian work, and I could not even enter to a UN OCHA meeting when I was representing the NGO side at the time. And so I'm really impressed to see the progress. I think the next step would be to recruit more people with disabilities so that they can utilize the accessible facilities and contribute to strengthening our work.
I don't have a challenge coming here, and starting from the compound, it's like a flat compound, and which I was easily walking. And also I have seen some ramps and elevators, so which is really an inspiring thing so that we can come and participate easily. So I appreciate it.
So we can see a lot of progresses, and we know that accessibility is subject to progressive realization. However, I think we really need to ensure that no new investment is done in a way reinforcing additional and new barriers for persons with disabilities in everywhere. And accessibility should not be interpreted in a very limited manner, only focusing on physical accessibility. It's important to ensure that our technology, digital platforms, as well as every communication within the UN is accessible to all persons with disabilities. And since this is a very diverse, heterogeneous group of persons or young persons in the world, I think it's important to continuously engage with the young persons with disabilities with them and progressively ensure that our existing facilities and services are accessible, as well as the newly to be built are also designed in an accessible way.
I believe change needs time, and not only the issue of disabilities, but also other issues. As a human being, we need a process to change, but I believe there's a really inspiring, initiating change that I've seen, call it with the UN or call it other organizations that are doing to bring that change to us. Coming to Ethiopia and contextually, I'm a person with disability and having lots of challenges, call it accessibility or inclusion, but throughout those years or throughout the youth life that I have, I've seen many changes, even in myself. I've grown a lot, and there are challenges, but everyone is working towards it, and I'm so grateful about it, including this UN summit.